What if your entire day was shaped not by what happens to you, but by what you allow to control your mind before your feet even touch the ground? Why does a single message or moment of delay have the power to hijack your peace? Maybe it's not the chaos, but how unprepared we are for it. Could one shift, one habit, right at the start of the morning, be the difference between a scattered day and a powerful one? Have you ever woken up already feeling burdened, before you've even opened your eyes fully? Even before splashing water on your face, your thoughts are already racing. Worries begin stacking up like bricks on your chest. One unexpected text derails your mood. You walk outside, get stuck in traffic, and just like that, the day unravels into a mess of delays and frustrations. It's like life is dragging you along, not walking with you. But here's the truth, most people don't struggle because they lack talent or intelligence. They struggle because they start their day in reactive autopilot, letting their thoughts scatter in every direction without putting up a single boundary. This is where Stoicism speaks loudest, not in dramatic silence or emotional suppression, but in small, decisive acts of control. You don't need to become a 5 a.m. monk or sit cross-legged in meditation for hours. What you truly need is a few small, intentional anchors. Actions that ground you before the world even has a chance to pull you off balance. This video isn't just another list of 15 morning habits. It's a mental armor, a guide to reclaiming your mornings from the chaos. It's how you shift from waking up in a fog, to waking up with purpose, with a steady mind, and with a quiet strength you've always had, but maybe forgot how to use. Habit 1, win the alarm battle. Let's be honest. Each morning, your bed becomes a silent trap. It doesn't roar or snarl, but it devours your willpower. How often have you hit snooze, slipped back into sleep, and later woken up feeling guilty, rushed, or out of sync? It's not weakness. It's just that you're losing a quiet, invisible battle, the battle with yourself, right when the alarm rings. Stoicism doesn't ask you to be a robot. It asks you to be rational, to choose reason over emotion. And there's no moment more revealing than the split second after waking up. In that moment, your mind becomes like a child, whining, tired, making excuses. It's cold. I'm exhausted. Just 5 more minutes. But reason must be the adult in the room. A friend once told me, every time I hit snooze, I feel like a dishonest manager. I told myself I'd get up at 6 o'clock. And then I broke that promise. That hit deep. Because if we can't keep promises to ourselves in small things, how can we trust ourselves in the big ones? So here's your task. Put your alarm out of reach. The second it rings, stand up. Don't think. Don't negotiate. Move as if it's instinct. You'll still feel groggy. You'll still want to dive back under the sheets. But once your feet hit the floor, you've already won. And that tiny win. It's not just symbolic. It's powerful. That's the moment you're in charge, not your emotions. Marcus Aurelius said it best. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. The question is, do you want to begin your day in control, or carry the silent shame of a promise broken? And if you've managed to win that first battle, the next step is even more critical. Let's move into the next essential habit, one that brings stability to your mind before the world even opens its eyes. Still part of habit 1, win the alarm battle, continued. That moment, the very moment the alarm goes off, isn't just about waking up. It's a test. Not of strength, but of sovereignty. Stoicism doesn't demand you become robotic. It demands that you become sovereign, able to command yourself before the day does. There's something almost ridiculous about how persuasive our sleepy minds can be. It's too cold. You're exhausted. Just 5 more minutes. You've heard it. That soft, cunning inner voice. It knows your weak spots. And it doesn't shout, it whispers. Like a child tugging at your sleeve, full of excuses, brimming with comfort-seeking logic. But reason must be the adult in the room. It must be the one that stands up first. A friend once said to me something that never left my mind. Every time I hit snooze, I feel like an untrustworthy boss. Last night I told myself I'd rise at 6 o'clock. And then I broke that promise. That hit me hard. Because if we can't even honor the tiniest promises to ourselves, what does that say about our larger ones? Self-discipline doesn't crumble in the big, dramatic moments. It falls apart in the little ones no one else sees. So here's a better way. Place the alarm far enough that you must get up to turn it off. And the moment it rings, move. No debate. No thoughts. No bargaining. Just movement, like a soldier obeying a call. Yes, you might still feel groggy. Yes, the blanket will whisper sweet lies. But once your feet hit the ground, you've already scored your first win. And that win matters. It sets the tone for everything that follows. Because this isn't just about getting out of bed. It's about who's in control, you, or your feelings. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. That's it. Not a hero. Not a guru. Just a human being doing what needs to be done. So the question becomes. Do you want to start your day as someone in control? Or as someone already weighed down by silent defeat? Habit 2, wake up at the same time every day. Once you've mastered the alarm battle, the next frontier is consistency. Not just getting up, but when you get up. I remember asking a friend, who constantly felt empty in the mornings, what time do you usually wake up? He gave a half smile and said, whenever I happen to wake up. That told me everything I needed to know. A scattered mind often comes from scattered mornings. When there's no rhythm, no structure, no anchor, the day begins in chaos. You're not choosing your tempo. You're reacting to it. Think of your mind like a room. If it has no door, anything can rush in, noise, worry, distraction. Or picture it like an orchestra. If each instrument plays on its own schedule, the music becomes noise. Your mind and body work the same way. Your energy, focus, hormones, all dance to your internal clock. When you wake up at 6 o'clock one day, 8:30 the next, and sleep in on weekends, you're breaking the rhythm of your own mental music. No wonder you feel offbeat and out of sync, and you don't even know why. But here's the shift. The same friend who once woke up at random times began setting a fixed wake-up time, 6:30 a.m. Every day. No matter what. Within 2 weeks, he told me. It felt like I had roots. Like I was finally standing still in a world that never stops moving. No one clapped. No one noticed. But he noticed. And that's all that mattered. Because this kind of habit doesn't just build discipline. It builds something more rare, stability. And from that, a subtle kind of power emerges, a sense that you are entering the world, not being thrown into it. You don't need to wake at 5 a.m. You just need to wake at the same time, your time. Every day. No negotiations. Pick it. Commit to it. Honor it. And what you'll discover is this. That quiet act of consistency becomes a foundation that everything else can stand on. Making coffee, stretching, writing, thinking, whatever follows, flows better. Because the world may still be chaotic. But you won't be. And when that consistency takes root, it's time to protect it from the very thing that most often disrupts it, your phone. Think of your body and mind as a delicate orchestra. If each instrument wakes up at a different time, how can the music possibly be harmonious? Your energy, mood, focus, and even your immune system all follow your circadian rhythm, your natural biological clock. But when you wake at 6 o'clock one day, 8:30 the next, and sleep until noon on the weekend, you're throwing off the conductor's timing. And then you wonder why the music of your day feels disjointed. Out of rhythm. Heavy, without reason. That same friend, the one who used to wake up at, whenever, once told me something profound. After committing to waking at exactly 6:30 a.m. every single day for 2 weeks, no exceptions, he said this. I felt like I had roots in the ground. Even in a city that never slows down, I felt still. Like the world no longer pushed me. I entered it on my own terms. That's the quiet power of a consistent morning rhythm. No audience. No applause. But inside, you become the architect of a solid system, one built by discipline, not noise. And here's the deeper truth. You don't build self-respect through grand, performative acts. You build it through the invisible moments no one else sees. That's what Stoicism really means. Not just enduring difficulty, but choosing structure when no one is watching. So, set a wake-up time. Not one that's trendy. One that's yours. 5 a.m., 6:45, even 7:30, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you own it and you repeat it. Day after day. No bargaining. No sliding scale. And you'll begin to feel something shift. Even something as small as making coffee or writing a few quiet lines will begin to feel intentional. Because the chaos might still be out there, but it won't be in you. Habit 3, avoid screens, first thing in the morning. Now, here's the next step. And this one's deceptively simple, but wildly underestimated. Don't touch your phone. Picture this. You've just opened your eyes. It's still dark. The sun hasn't even stretched. Your body is groggy. Your breath is slow. But your hand, like it's running on instinct, reaches out, searching for that glowing rectangle beside your bed like it's your life raft. The screen lights up. Instantly, a flood of notifications, messages, news headlines, and global chaos pour in. Emails from your boss. A text from a friend in another time zone. Stock updates. Viral videos. Arguments on the internet. And now ask yourself, with brutal honesty. Is this the first thing I want entering my mind today? Is this the mood I want setting the tone for my entire morning? You see, Stoicism doesn't demand that you control the world. It teaches you to control yourself, what you allow in, and when. Epictetus didn't own an iPhone. But he knew this. No man is free who is not master of himself. And yet, here we are, seconds after waking, already chained to a digital leash we think we need to survive. Imagine your morning mind like a quiet, empty room, freshly cleaned, calm, full of potential. Then you open an app, and in rush strangers. A celebrity scandal. A coworker's email. A war zone image. A friend's humble brag. None of them knocked. None of them asked permission. And suddenly your day has begun, but on their terms, not yours. So here's the shift. You don't need a 30-day detox. Just 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes of your day, no screen. No notifications. No doom scrolling. Keep your phone an arm's length away. Use a real alarm clock if you have to. Get up. Crack a window. Splash water on your face. Walk barefoot on your floor. Breathe. You'll realize something almost eerie. The world doesn't collapse when you don't check your phone. But you become more awake. Grounded. Present. Whole. Because the way you live your first 5 minutes often predicts how you'll live your entire day. Stoicism never claimed we could bend the world to our will. It simply asks one thing: bend yourself, toward clarity, toward control. Epictetus didn't live in a digital age, didn't have an iPhone constantly buzzing at his side. But he understood this timeless truth. No person is free who is not master of himself. And yet here you are, barely conscious, still blinking the sleep out of your eyes, already tethered to an invisible digital leash. It's subtle. It's silent. But it owns you. Imagine your early morning mind as a freshly cleaned room. Bright. Airy. Still. Undisturbed. Then, you open an app. And strangers come pouring in uninvited. An angry driver ranting in a viral video. A model flaunting filtered perfection. A relative sharing heartbreak. A coworker venting over email. A friend on vacation posting from a beach you've never been to. No one knocks. No one asks permission. And yet, you let them all in. You tell yourself it's staying informed. But truthfully, you're letting strangers trample through your mental space, before you've even had a sip of water. Here's the fix. You don't need a dopamine detox or a dramatic digital fast. Just commit to this. The first 15 minutes of your morning, no screen. No messages. No swipes. No scrolling. Move your phone away from your bed. Buy a $5 alarm clock if you must. Instead of feeding your brain with digital noise, try this. Get up. Crack a window and feel real air. Splash your face with cold water. Walk barefoot for a moment. Just exist. Just breathe. It's not curated. It's not optimized. It's real. And here's the strange part. The world won't collapse because you didn't check your phone. But your mind will begin to rise, cleared, steady, sovereign. Because the way you treat the first few minutes of your morning is often the way you treat the entire day. So, if this spoke to you, don't just scroll past. Subscribe. Come back tomorrow. Let every morning begin with clarity, not just a Wi-Fi signal. Habit 4, drink water. No one ever told you this, but mastering your mind each morning might begin with something far simpler than you expected. Not a mantra. Not a cold plunge. Not even meditation. Just a glass of water. No fanfare. No philosophy. Just you, half asleep, still wrapped in your blanket, lifting a glass to your lips after 8 dry hours of sleep. And something shifts. Your body stirs. Your brain clears a little. You don't feel enlightened, but you feel present. We often obsess over big routines, 20 minutes of meditation, journaling, reading, stretching. But when we're tired or overwhelmed, we skip them. We tell ourselves we'll start tomorrow. Or we wait until we feel ready. But a glass of water? It doesn't ask for readiness. It creates readiness. It's the quiet push that restarts your system. Like pressing a reset button before the day even begins. And here's the irony. You can scroll through TikTok for 30 minutes without blinking. But somehow forget to drink even one sip of water. This isn't just hydration, it's a Stoic decision. To choose what's necessary over what's easy. To nourish before you consume. To prepare, rather than react. Someone once told me. After I drink water in the morning, I feel consciously awake. Strange phrase, but I knew what they meant. It wasn't the wired jitter of caffeine. It was a grounded clarity, calm, but alert enough to ask. How do I want to live today? And that's a powerful question to ask before the noise arrives. It's strange, isn't it? We can leap out of bed and scroll through TikTok for 30 minutes without blinking, yet somehow, forget the simplest, most life-giving act, taking a sip of water. Drinking water sounds insignificant. But behind that act lies a quiet form of discipline. A Stoic choice. It's not about hydration alone. It's about choosing what's necessary over what's easy. Choosing to care for your body, instead of dragging it half awake into the demands of the day. It's not glamorous. There's no applause. But it's intentional. Someone once told me. Every morning after I drink water, I feel consciously awake. It struck me as odd at first. But now I get it. It's not the buzz of caffeine that jolts you into frantic motion. It's a steady clarity, a calm energy that allows you to pause in front of the mirror and ask yourself, how am I going to live today? Seneca once wrote, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. And sometimes, our craving shows up subtly. We crave mornings that are grand, curated, Instagram-worthy. But true presence, the kind that builds a powerful day, often begins with something as humble as a glass of water. Start there. When you lift the glass, you're not just drinking. You're declaring, I'm here. I'm present. I'm alive today. And once you're truly here. Habit 5, get morning sunlight. Step outside. Let the first light of day touch your skin. Not for content. Not for calories burned. Just to stand there, to be. Each morning, we face a tiny choice most people overlook. Do I give myself to the chaos immediately, or do I let light greet me first? It sounds too simple. Too obvious. And that's why we ignore it. Most of us wake up and reach straight for a phone. We scroll through outrage, bad news, notifications. We dive headfirst into a to-do list before we've even greeted the day. And in that rush, the body gets left behind. It lags like an engine trying to start in the cold. But morning sunlight? It resets you. It tells your brain. It's morning. Wake up. Be present. It jumpstarts the body's natural production of serotonin, improving your mood, sharpening your focus, helping your internal clock sync. You want to sleep better tonight? Get a little sunlight this morning. And here's the best part, it doesn't take much. You don't need to do yoga under the sky. You don't need 30 minutes of outdoor cardio. You just need to stand still. There's a bus driver in my neighborhood. Every morning at 5 a.m., she steps into her front yard with a warm drink in hand. She doesn't stretch. She doesn't scroll. She simply looks at the sky. One day she told me, if I skip that moment outside, I feel off all day. She's not a mindfulness guru or a biohacker. She just lives with presence, more mindfully than many who talk about it online. That's what morning sunlight gives you. Not a miracle, just a moment. A moment to reclaim yourself before the world starts spinning. So don't wait for life to spiral before you seek balance. The invitation is already waiting, right outside your door. Habit 6, connect with nature. You don't have to chase peace in a 10-minute video. Sometimes, it's already waiting, right outside your door. Real light. Real air. Real silence. Just, step out. Let the light wash over you. Let it do what it's always done, without effort, without permission. And when you've learned to pause long enough to truly receive that light, you'll notice something else begin to open up. Your ability to reconnect, not just with the sky, but with the world around you. That's when the next shift begins. Connect with nature. Every morning, whether you notice it or not, nature shows up for you. The sky lights up, regardless of your mood. Whether you're stressed, joyful, or numb, the trees still sway. The wind still moves. Birds still sing their quiet chorus into the morning air. Life continues. Calmly. Fully. Without asking you to be ready. Without waiting for you to smile back. That might sound distant or poetic. But it's not. It's practical. It's accessible. And it might be the closest form of healing you can reach, especially when your thoughts feel loud. Many people think connecting with nature means hiking into remote forests, visiting mountaintops, or escaping to a secluded beach. Beautiful, yes. But not realistic for most. The truth is, you don't need a retreat. You don't even need a backyard. You just need a moment. A friend of mine, a marketing executive with barely 3 minutes to spare, stands every morning on his tiny 19th floor balcony. No phone. No podcast. Just him and the sky. Watching clouds drift, letting his mind catch up with his breath. He calls it his moment of stillness. That's it. No ritual. No checklist. Just stillness, so the mind can wake up before the world grabs hold. Science agrees. Just a few minutes of contact with nature, especially in the morning, can slow your heart rate, lower blood pressure, and elevate your mood for hours. Researchers at the University of Exeter found that people who regularly spend time in green spaces report higher life satisfaction and a stronger sense of purpose. In other words, the closer you are to trees, the closer you are to yourself. And that's something the Stoics deeply understood. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change." The next time you see a leaf turning, falling, or blooming, remember, it's not just nature shifting. It's a reminder that you're allowed to change, too. So tomorrow morning, don't reach for your screen. Don't reach for productivity. Reach for presence. Open a window. Step outside even, if it's just to the balcony, the stairwell, or beside a potted plant. Be still. Be here. Let nature do what it does best, remind you that peace isn't found, it's returned to. Habit 7, move your body. Once your mind has something to lean on, light, stillness, nature, the next part awakens. Your body. Not to burn calories. Not to chase aesthetics. But to build inner strength, from the outside in. There's a kind of fatigue we don't talk about enough. The kind that doesn't come from lack of sleep, but from staying still for too long. You know the feeling. You wake up foggy. Unmotivated. Mentally cluttered. It feels like you're lost in a day that hasn't even started yet. You might blame your mood. Or assume it's anxiety. But the truth is simpler, and more physical. Your body hasn't woken up yet. So your mind can't think clearly. The Stoics didn't wait for clarity to act. They moved first, so that clarity could follow. A body in motion sets the stage for a mind that's stable and sharp. Imagine you're a smartphone. Your thoughts are the apps, the functions. But your body? That's the battery. And when your battery is drained, everything else lags, sluggish, glitchy, unreliable. So stop trying to think your way out of a foggy morning, if you haven't even moved yet. Take a few steps. Stretch. Reach. Walk across the room, like your sanity depends on it, because in a way, it does. And science? It agrees. Physical movement triggers a surge of dopamine and serotonin, those critical chemicals behind focus, emotional stability, and motivation. You don't need to lift weights, or do a full-body HIIT routine. Just move. For 2 minutes. 3 if you can. Your breath will deepen. Your heart will wake up. And quietly, without effort, your willpower will begin to return. Still think movement is just for athletes? Think again. It's the father of 3, who wheels his bike out the door 10 minutes early, before waking the kids. It's the woman who mops her kitchen, in silence before sunrise, claiming those first moments as her own. No gym membership. No hashtags. Just real people, practicing discipline without even calling it that. That's what Stoic strength looks like. We don't train the body just to endure pain. We train the body so the mind can endure anything. Every push, every stretch, every motion is a quiet message sent to yourself. I'm stronger than my tiredness. I'm not waiting for energy. I'm creating it. So here's your challenge, starting now. Stand up. Roll your wrists. Jog in place for 30 seconds. Touch your toes. Stretch toward the sky like you're reaching for a fresh version of yourself. Not to lose weight. Not to fix your body overnight. But to remind yourself who's in charge. I'm awake. I'm alert. I'm ready. And when your body finally rises to meet the day, your mind will be clear-headed enough to face what comes next. Habit 8, scan your emotions. Emotion. It's the invisible tide that pulls us toward reactions we don't always understand. But here's the shift that Stoicism offers. Instead of living on emotional autopilot, you can pause. You can observe. And, most importantly, you can choose your response. Have you ever snapped at someone you love, not because of them, but because you spilled coffee on your shirt an hour earlier? Or maybe a 15-minute traffic jam ruined your whole day, not because of the traffic, but because of what was already bubbling underneath. That's the thing. It's rarely the event that breaks us. It's our unexamined reaction to it, especially when we're too busy to notice what's really going on inside. Your morning mind is like a pressure cooker. One bad email. One passive-aggressive comment. One delay. And boom, the whole day feels hijacked. But what if you could catch it? What if you could just lower the heat? You see, many people think emotional control is some mystical state, reserved for monks or masters. But in reality, it can start with something ridiculously simple. Sit still for 60 seconds, before you unlock your phone. Don't reach for TikTok. Don't scroll your way into distraction. Just place your hands on the table. Close your eyes. And ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? It might sound silly. But here's the truth. Most of us don't know what we're feeling. We only know how we're reacting. That's a dangerous gap. Because if you don't know what you're carrying, you'll throw it at the first person who crosses your path. So think of your mind like a room. If you don't clean it in the morning, you'll trip over yesterday's clutter, resentment, stress, regret. But take just 3 minutes to look inward, like opening a window to let in fresh air, and you'll feel the shift almost instantly. Let me give you a simple real-world example. You're about to walk into a meeting. You're still irritated from traffic. Instead of dragging that frustration in with you, just pause at the door. Take one deep breath in. And one full breath out. Then enter. That 5-second shift. That's self-mastery. Or tomorrow morning. Instead of springing up like a machine from bed, try sitting there for a moment. Notice if you feel irritable, or just strangely empty. That's not weakness. That's awareness. Because if you don't face your emotions, they'll drive you. Like a car with no brakes. Like a storm with no warning. But when you acknowledge them, gently, honestly, you become the steady-handed driver. Not rushing. Not panicking. Just present. That's how you begin the day with your emotions, not at their mercy. And if you've made it this far, you're already ahead. You're already practicing the pause. So don't rush off just yet. The next habit might just change the way you see time, life, and everything in between. Habit 9, remember death. The next lesson might just change the way you see your mornings, forever. Remember death. Yes, seriously. We remember birthdays, anniversaries, and deadlines. But we forget the one thing that gives all of those meaning. We're going to die. It sounds harsh. Heavy. But it's not meant to darken your day. It's meant to wake you up to it. Every morning, we make our coffee, scroll our phones, and mutter about work as if time is infinite. We carry ourselves like we have unlimited later. But if someone told you today was your last, would you still start it that way? The ancient Stoics lived by a practice called memento mori. Remember you will die. It might sound grim, but it's the ultimate antidote to procrastination. To drifting. To half living. How many hugs have you delayed? How many apologies have you withheld? How many dreams have you postponed because you thought, I'll do it tomorrow? But here's the brutal truth. No one guarantees you tomorrow. Seneca once wrote something rarely quoted, but unforgettable. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. That isn't morbid. That's liberation. And there's no better place to begin than the stillness of an ordinary morning. You don't need to write a will. You don't need to attend a funeral to remember what matters. Try this instead. While brushing your teeth, ask. If today were my last, am I really living? While making coffee, delete one app you scroll through on autopilot. Call someone you've been meaning to call. Eat breakfast without your phone, just you, your food, and your full, unedited presence. That is memento mori. Not about obsessing over death, but about coming fully alive. Because when you live as if each moment is fragile, you finally see how precious it really is. Suddenly, a warm cup of tea feels sacred. A sunbeam on the floor feels like a miracle. Even your cat's meow can bring a smile that feels like your first day alive. This awareness doesn't make you fearful. It makes you grateful. Because when you understand that everything could end, you finally appreciate what hasn't. And from that awareness, something beautiful happens. Gratitude stops being a concept and becomes instinct. And that leads us to the next habit, one that turns even the simplest mornings into sacred ground. Practice gratitude. Habit 10, practice gratitude. You stumble into the bathroom, still half asleep. You turn the faucet. Warm water flows. Steady. Clean. Enough to splash your face, brush your teeth, and begin the day. But somewhere, on this same planet, someone is walking miles for that same bucket of water you just summoned by twisting your wrist. And here's the quiet question. Did you even notice? Gratitude isn't some sacred, elevated feeling reserved for monks, poets, or spiritual elites. It's not a state you enter after journaling under moonlight. It's a daily choice, a discipline of perception. It's wiping the table. It's washing the dishes. It's pausing for 3 seconds to smile at the fact that your slippers are still where you left them last night. Gratitude isn't about waiting for big blessings. It's about waking up to what's already here. Marcus Aurelius said it simply. Don't hanker after what you don't have. Instead, fix your attention on the finest and best that you do have, and imagine how much you'd long for these if they weren't in your possession. That mindset, that reversal, is power. Because today, more than ever, people wake up with a sense of lack. Not enough time. Not enough money. Not enough likes, chances, opportunities. But the person who sees enough in what they already have, even if it's just a leftover slice of bread, is the person who carries real strength into the day. So here's a quiet challenge for tomorrow morning. As you wash your face, look at yourself, not to scan for flaws or wrinkles, but to whisper something simple. I'm still alive. No drama. No deep philosophy. Just a fact. I'm still here. I still have time. I still have today. And if that feels too abstract, try the rule of 3. Every morning, write down 3 tiny things you're grateful for. Don't repeat them the next day. Force your eyes to search. Force your mind to see, really see. It could be the quiet hum of a fan. The weight of a warm mug in your hand. The fact that your heart is still beating. Because a mind full of gratitude has no space left for complaints. And once gratitude becomes your foundation, everything you build on top of it, your habits, your goals, your choices, stands firm. Firm enough to receive. Firm enough to give. Firm enough to choose what's worthy of entering your mind. And that's where the real shift begins. Because if you're not careful, the world will feed your mind junk. Which leads us to the next vital habit, one that determines not just how you start your day, but what kind of life you shape. Feed your mind positivity. Habit 11. Feed your mind positivity. Each morning, the second you open your eyes, the world comes rushing in, fast, loud, and often uninvited. A flood of headlines, buzzing notifications, messages from work, updates from people you don't even know. And if you don't take charge of what enters your mind first, someone else will. And let's be honest, they're not thinking about your peace. Your mind is not a trash bin. So why fill it with toxic input before the sun has even touched your face? Instead, think of your mind like a garden. If you don't plant the seeds intentionally, something will still grow. But it won't be what you want. It'll be weeds. Noise. Negativity. Reaction. Marcus Aurelius warned us clearly. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So ask yourself, what color are you choosing? Is it a deep, centered calm? A sharp focus? Or is it the dull gray of digital anxiety, painted by someone else's chaos? Sometimes, positivity isn't about forcing a smile or writing affirmations. It's about a single, small decision. What do I let into my mind, first? It could be a meaningful page from a book that sharpens your focus. A powerful video that realigns your energy. Or even just 3 quiet minutes to whisper to yourself. I'm alive. I have another chance. That's enough. Because here's what we often forget. If you grab your phone and scroll through a feed of disaster, gossip, or drama, that's someone else painting your day for you. Their colors. Their panic. Their agenda. I remember someone once said to me, I'm not a negative person. I just read the news every morning. But here's the thing. The brain doesn't care whether you call it information or doom scrolling. It just absorbs. You wouldn't start your day by drinking sewer water. So why do we do it mentally? So pause. Right now. Before this video continues. Pick up your phone, but not to scroll. Put on a song that makes you feel grounded. Read a line of wisdom that makes you breathe deeper. Write down a single quote that stirs your strength. Here's one that never fails. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4 verse 23. Now ask yourself. What did I feed my mind this morning? Did it build you up? Or did it quietly tear you down? Make a list, right now, of what you'll allow in during the first 15 minutes of your day. Treat it like a clean, intentional diet for your mind. Everything else, no matter how flashy or tempting, is just junk. Because curating your input isn't just about feeling good. It's about setting direction. It's about planting a flag and saying, this is the path I walk. This is the mindset I choose. But here's the deeper truth Stoicism teaches. Mastering your mind isn't just about bringing in the good. It's about preparing for what's hard. And that's exactly where we go next. Habit 12, expect obstacles. Every morning, as you walk out the door, you likely carry 3 things. Your phone. Your keys. Your wallet. But here's a more important question. Are you carrying a mindset ready for chaos? It's strange, isn't it? We check our pockets, double-check our bags, make sure we have everything for the day. But how often do we pause to ask ourselves, is my mind ready for what might go wrong today? We don't. Because we assume the day will go as planned. But the Stoics never made that mistake. They didn't hope for ease. They prepared for unpredictability. If you know it might rain, you pack a raincoat. If you know the day will test you, you bring resilience. Marcus Aurelius put it plainly. Today, the people you meet will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. It wasn't pessimism. It was a map. A soldier doesn't walk into battle surprised that bullets are flying. So why do we step into each morning expecting everything to go our way? Imagine this. You're standing in front of the mirror. Instead of racing through your to-do list or scanning your face for imperfections, take 60 seconds. Just one quiet minute. Picture 3 possible annoyances that might cross your path today. A passive-aggressive colleague. A traffic jam that makes you late. A message that hits a nerve. Now ask yourself. If this happens, how do I respond in a way that aligns with who I want to be? This is called preparation. It's not paranoia. It's mental conditioning. Like a fighter warming up before stepping into the ring. You're training your mind before the pressure hits. And here's the Stoic paradox. The more you prepare for the worst, the lighter your mind becomes. Why? Because a part of you has already been through it. So when it happens, it doesn't rattle you. It recognizes the storm and walks through it with calm. You begin to realize. The traffic wasn't the real problem. Your unrealistic expectation of a smooth commute was. That irritable person isn't the threat. Losing your temper because of them is. You can't control the world today. But you can control your stance in the face of it. That's real power. So tomorrow morning, don't just put on your shirt and shoes. Put on your mental armor. Not to become cold or hard. But to become ready. To greet the day with grounded eyes, not naive hope. To meet difficulty not with panic, but with principle. Because a well-prepared mind isn't just stronger, it's freer. And once you've braced yourself for the waves ahead, you're ready to choose how you'll sail through them. That's where the next habit comes in. Set an intention. Habit 13, set an intention. Each morning, you have 100 things you could do. Drink water. Go for a walk. Check your to-do list. Reply to messages. Get things done. But here's the truth. If you don't begin your day by choosing how you want to live, then everything else is just noise. Just motion. Just surface-level productivity. The Stoics didn't treat ethics as something abstract or ceremonial. They didn't wait for a crisis to test their values. They practiced them daily, in the smallest of moments. Being honest. It's not a dramatic declaration in front of a crowd. It's quietly asking yourself in the morning. Am I avoiding this responsibility? Am I cutting corners I'd be ashamed to admit? Integrity doesn't live in motivational quotes. It shows up when you say no to something easy, even when no one would ever know. And that begins in the early hours. Before the noise. Before the pressure. Sit for just a few quiet minutes. And ask yourself. What values will I live by today, no matter what the world throws at me? It's like installing a moral operating system before stepping out into the chaos. Because once you're out there, you'll meet blame shifters, manipulators, overwhelm, tempting shortcuts, and moments where doing the wrong thing would be faster, easier, more convenient. And if you haven't already chosen your internal compass, you'll drift. You'll rationalize. And you'll tell yourself, that's just how the world works. But if, from the start, you've chosen, I will be fair. I will be kind. I will not betray my values. Then when the moment comes, you won't need to scramble. You'll already know what to do. Want to try it? Tomorrow morning, before breakfast. Stand in front of the mirror. Not to fix your appearance, but to meet your own gaze. And say something simple. Today, I will be kind. Or, today, I will be honest. Or, today, I will not compromise. Clear. Grounded. Quietly powerful. Because the way you live, your values isn't through loud promises. It's through quiet, repeated action. Over and over, until your life reflects what you believe. And if this speaks to you, if this resonates, don't just move on. Like this video. Share it. Let's stop letting shallow philosophies rise to the top. Because the final 2 lessons are the most important ones yet. They'll take you deeper into self-mastery than most people ever dare to go. Unless, of course, you've already heard them. From the Stoics. Habit 14, focus on one key task. Most people don't run out of time. They run out of clarity. They open their eyes, reach for their phones, and start scrolling without thinking. Then come the emails, the quick replies, the little tasks that seem urgent but aren't actually important. They stay busy all day. But by evening, they sigh and say, I didn't even get to the one thing I really needed to do. Sound familiar? The problem isn't that they weren't working. It's that they didn't choose what mattered most, first. Starting your day without focus is like heading out on a road trip without a destination. You drive. You turn left. Then right. You stay in motion, but end up lost in your own day. So here's a better way to think about it. Imagine you're a delivery driver. Every morning, you're handed a truck full of packages. If you don't decide which one matters most, the one that absolutely must be delivered, you'll end up zigzagging around, stressed, distracted, and always behind. But if you choose that first stop clearly and early, the rest of the route naturally begins to organize itself. That's what prioritizing one key task can do. It's not about doing more. It's about starting with the right thing. Here's a simple habit you can try tomorrow morning, no app, no planner needed. While brushing your teeth or pouring your coffee, ask yourself, if I could only get one thing done today, what should it be? And don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be profound. It might be calling someone to apologize. Finishing that project you've avoided. Taking your mom to a doctor appointment. Or even something internal, like refusing to let a rude comment ruin your mood. It just has to be one thing. Clear. Decisive. Anchoring. Because once you lock that goal in, something powerful happens. Your brain starts organizing everything else around it. Your distractions seem less loud. Your energy flows with more purpose. And when you complete that one thing, you're not just managing your time. You're mastering yourself. That's how momentum begins. That's how a day builds in the right direction. One solid action, early, can trigger a chain reaction of progress, clarity, and confidence. Like knocking over the first domino in a long, elegant row. And that leads us straight into the final habit. The one that ties everything together. Start strong. Stay strong. Habit 15, start strong, stay strong. Every morning is a row of dominoes. Lined up, waiting. Each one a moment, a decision, a habit. And the first one? It matters more than you think. Because if that first tile tips in the wrong direction, if you reach for social media before sunlight, or let someone else's tone set your mood, then the rest of the day tends to fall the same way. But what if you flipped the script? What if, instead of opening your phone, you opened a window and let real air in? What if, instead of scrolling, you wrote one line? Something simple to carry with you like armor. I won't let someone else's chaos control my peace. Today, I will respond, not react. Today, I will stay grounded. You don't need a huge breakthrough. You just need one intentional choice the moment your eyes open. A glass of water. A deep breath. A simple question. How do I want to feel today? Because life doesn't shift through grand gestures. It pivots through tiny tilts, repeated steadily, every single morning. And we've just walked through 15 of them. 15 habits that, on the surface, may seem small. Waking up on time. Avoiding your phone. Drinking water. Watching the sunrise. Writing down what matters. Choosing how to feel, before the world chooses for you. But these aren't just routines. They're anchors. For clarity, for strength, for self-mastery. In a world that rarely pauses, that pushes urgency and distraction at every turn. Choosing to begin your day mindfully isn't just a healthy habit. It's an act of inner strength. A personal declaration. Today, I live with intention. So if any of these 15 habits spoke to you, I'd love to hear it. Have you already tried one? Or is there one you're ready to start tomorrow morning? Let's build this together. And if you believe these ideas are worth spreading, click subscribe. Turn on notifications. Share it with someone who needs a reset. Because there's more coming. More content grounded in Stoic wisdom. Practical, thought-provoking, and built to support your journey toward a stronger, more present, more intentional life. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you in the next one.